Beautiful evening. Can I confirm? Can you hear me loud and clear? Can I confirm that you can hear me loud and clear? All right, good evening and welcome once again to Digital Skillup Africa Project Management class. It is that time where we discuss project management. My name is Kingsley and you are welcome. With me on the anchor tonight is my co-facilitator, Nancy Baba Ali. Welcome once again, and it's a pleasure to see and have everyone in this class. So we are going to be having a project evaluation and documentation, while it's going to be more of a very interactive session. It's going to be like a general revision class where we discuss generally all we have learned so far, questions, your experiences, how it has been for you, and I think we can definitely take it from there. So yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening. The evenings are flowing in everywhere. So please, yes, a clear reminder tonight that I'm sure by now you have received your project questions. So it is our best to respond to it. Okay, and let's see how we can best work up that, right? Okay, so good evening, welcome. How was your weekend? How has it been so far in the Project Management Digital Skill Up Africa class? How has it been? Fun, exciting, intriguing, challenging, difficult? What have you? Yes, so let's hear your thoughts and see how we can, as a group, then do justice to tonight's session. So it's going to be more interactive. Okay, so I expect everyone to interact. Feel free. Let's talk. Okay. All right. So if you're yet to receive your project questions, I think it would be posted by the community manager. Okay. All right. So it's nice having us here tonight. So yes, if you are yet to receive project questions, I'm sure you are going to see them quite very soon. Okay. So try to, yes, Nancy says that it's been intriguing, challenging, and yet exciting. So she has actually learned a whole lot. Okay. So that is it. Okay. So yeah, so the project sessions will be shared, okay, to um all participants. And as usual, just the way you submitted your project tools assignments on using Trello, Jira, Asana, and all that. So you can also use that same method to share, okay, your responses, okay, so that we can actually take note of it. Okay, so very important. Okay, all right. So every student is going to see the project. So you're going to plan and execute a school event. Okay, you're going to actually host a career day. Okay, so that's your project. Okay, either way you choose to maybe want to implement it, or but what we need to see is there are key deliverables we want to see. We just want to stimulate in learning what how you can actually plan a career day for a school by implementing all the stages of the project lifecycle that you have been taught. And not forgetting, there has to be a project charter, work breakdown structure. You need to include budgeting, your cost estimation, were there any risks involved, then your final report and lessons learned should also be documented. Okay, so and you are to use any of the tools that you are familiar with. You can use Gantt charts, Excel, Google Sheets, Jira, Trello, anyone you want to that is convenient for you. So there's no specific tool that is being laid down, but there are key things we want to see in your submission. Okay, your project charter needs to be there, your project goal, your work breakdown structure, the Gantt chart showing the timeline for the career day that you are planning. There should be budgets with a measure of cost attached to it, and then your risk register. Okay, and then the lessons learned in the career day, and also your final report. So it's very key that let me just say here that if we can't attest to your submission, it may affect your grading for this particular program. So please treat it with utmost importance. Okay. So that's where we are. All right. So let's delve back to project management. We started this program and it's been very exhausting. Okay, very intriguing, very wonderful, very engaging, very exciting. I'm sure we learned a whole lot, and it's we've we've come up with a lot of skills developed. Okay, and yeah, so over the past 8 or 9 weeks or thereabouts, we've been able to navigate different sessions. So we started out with introduction to project management, where we defined project management and its life cycle. Okay, so let's go back. Let's just rewind, if I may say that. Yes, so please, your submissions, you can do that on the LMS. Okay, on the LMS. You can use your responses via the LMS as an attachment. Okay, not just you type a page and a few sentences and you make your submission. No, so you have to make it total, make it holistic. Okay, all right. So tonight we are rounding off the project management session. Tutoring session. Okay, so after now, we'll be delving straight into mentorship from the weeks ahead, the few weeks ahead of us. But tonight is more about revision, looking back at what we have done so far, taking a few questions for those who have questions, where you were not clear, where you had issues, where you could not, so these are the aspects we are looking at tonight. And I'm not alone. Very soon, my co-facilitator Nancy would join us here on stage. Okay. So, and I want to firstly say a big thank you to everyone who has made it this far. It's not been easy. So, it's not necessarily a physical school, but if you can turn in your responses in an ideal situation, then wonderful. All we want to see is how you can be able to plan, execute um, a career day. Okay, so everybody, that's our project for this cohort. Okay, so and I implore you to give your best. Okay, just give in your best. Okay, so that is it. So we started this cohort with a basic introduction, fundamentals of project management, where we defined project management. Projects could be anything, any endeavor where you have to manage activities from the beginning to the end. Every project is unique in itself, and we must treat it as such. Okay. Okay. So I think yes, there's no assignment now. What we are talking about is your capstone project. I'm still going to repeat that. Okay. But let's just interact. Okay. Because a whole lot of other participants are still going to join in during the session. So I will not make more announcement now. Let's leave that. Before we get to the attendance stage, we'll take more. I'll do more like a repeat, okay, of the capstone projects that each participant is expected to turn in to signal the end of this phase of the of learning. Okay, so let's get back to our program tonight. What has been the challenges for you? What has been your experiences? How has learning been with you on board this particular project? So, yes, Edache Matthew kicks off tonight's interactive class with a question that says, what is the difference between a project manager and a project planner? Okay, so it's very key to understand that these are two different roles, okay, sometimes can be accomplished by the same person, but it's clear, it's good to have them perform distinct roles. Okay, so like we would say, a project planner. If you go by the name, to plan means you are organizing, you are arranging, you are designing, you are preparing, and you are scheduling. That's planning. But when you're talking about managing, it means that you are performing oversight functions, you are leading, you are supervising, and you are also taking administrative um, abilities on your project. So these are the two differences you have between a project manager and a project planner. So when you plan, you organize, okay? You try as much to design, to prepare, to schedule. That's your role as a planner. But as a manager, you are providing leadership, you are providing supervising, you're like a supervisor, you are like an administrator. Okay, so that is exactly I think in a basic explanation. So what type of computer programs can I engage in to handle projects? There's no one size fits all type of program that you can use for your project. Number one, it depends on what project you are doing. How seamless do you want to engage in that program such that it will make the work far more easier for your team members, stakeholders, internal and external, and all that. So that all depends on you to choose. So, like some persons say they found Trello more useful, more simpler, easier to understand. While I agree that Jira is a bit more complex to handle a bit more complex tasks, okay? But it all depends. There are a whole lot. There are smart sheets. There are, I think we mentioned Microsoft projects. There are a whole lot you may wish. It all depends on what you want to do and the industry that you find yourself. So it all depends on that. I hope I've been able to answer or respond to your question. So Chimebuka says, I saw a post about an operations manager having project management skill. What is the correlation between both? Okay, so um, you need to understand clearly here that um, these two people, okay, operations management and project management both involve being a planner, okay, more of a planner and a manager. So, in terms of operations management, you are looking at activities that will keep the business running or the project running more like efficiently, like when you are into manufacturing or you are into logistics or you are into customer service. These are activities that run with repeated processes. Okay, so you can monitor operations. But when you talk about a project manager, you are looking at every effort that you bring in from the start of that particular project to the end of that particular project. So as much as it is, they all perform combined functions, but operations is specific to a particular aspect of the project, while what call it project management has to do with a more holistic approach from start to finish. Okay, so when we talk about waterfall, um, yes, we did talk about waterfall analysis when we talked about sometime in week 3 or week 4 of project where we did hands-on. We looked at trying to recall that. I think the first week where we had introduction to project management, and we looked at an overview of project management methodologies. So, in trying to talk about, we looked at agile, waterfall, and then the hybrid methodology. So, um, waterfall, it's it's very key in project management, and why we use them, we have, when we talked about traditional and modern technologies. So waterfall methodology or model is actually a linear approach. When you say linear, it means that it goes in sequence. Okay, so it's more like a traditional system or approach in project management. Why we call it waterfall is because each phase flows into another. So when you look at a waterfall, okay, in life, in real life scenario, okay, so I think we'll ask little more. Just don't ask more questions. Let me do some explanation so I don't miss all the questions that are coming in. Okay, just let's hold on. Once we are through with one, we move to the next so that I don't miss all the questions. I want to be able to pick all these questions one after the other and let's do justice to them. Okay. So, and once your question is answered, please you can indicate that yes, I think mine has been answered. So, each phase, you don't go back to the previous phase when it is completed. Once you are done, you see, that's why I said waterfall. As the water falls from the cliff, You can't take the water back up. It can't go back. It can't go upwards anymore. So it has fallen, and that's all. So it's that process where um it has already streamlined system. Okay, so your requirements must be ready. Okay, like you want to develop a new software and you need all the features listed down. So if you are developing a mobile app for a bank, like let's say GT Bank, what you need to do is have all the features listed out. And then you need to have your design sorted out. So immediately you have all your requirements, you cannot go back to requirement stage anymore. You move next to the design stage. From the design stage, where you develop all the mockups, where the product developer, or product engineer or UI UX, where they start working on their models, develop their frameworks using Figma or any other software they want to use to implement. Then they go straight to the development phase, where you actually the software developers begin to build the code. So after building the code, that's implementation, they start what we call testing. So you test for bugs, you test whether there are issues, defects, or okay, then it goes to the QA team, the QA quality assurance. They try to look at any functional issues, any integration issues, and things like that. Then they go straight to deployment. Okay, you move it now to, if all requirements are satisfied, then the product goes for deployment to the public, and then from time to time they post updates or releases, which you see on your Play Store from time to time, like WhatsApp updates, update, and that's it. So that's how the waterfall approach works. Okay, so all right, I hope I've been able to answer your question, dollars. Then let's take Akinwale. Akinwale says, my major challenge is on project tools. I will be grateful if you can further explain on this. I would like to know, what specifically do you have as a challenge on project tools? When you say project tools, is quite broad. So I need to be able to narrow down, understand what is it that you don't understand clearly, and then I'll be able to respond. Now, when we talk about Gantt chart, Uforma, Gantt chart is simply like a process where, okay, just a moment. I'm going to pick up something on that. So Gantt chart has to do with where you have your, as a project manager, you are in charge of a team, and being in charge of the team, okay, I think being in charge of that team, you want to, okay, I think I need to share my slide at this point. Okay. So, all right. So let me just do, for the purpose of explanation, I need to explain that. Okay. So when we talk about Gantt chart, it's more or less like a table. I don't want to call it a table, but let me call it a plan this time. Okay. You as the project manager, you have an idea of how best you want to run your project. Okay. Now, in trying to implement that project, you have different activities that you have lined up, so that when you, in one dashboard, in one go, you can see what exactly the plan is on paper. Now, look at, we have three different quarters in the chart, the Gantt chart that is on display. Okay, the first quarter there is January running through March, the second quarter, April running to July, and things like that. So the bar that you see for the planning phase starts sometime in mid-January or towards the ending of January and runs into mid-March. So it tells you that anybody who sees it would understand that between that period in January until March, mid-March, the planning phase is still ongoing. Different activities are still ongoing. Then research would also be going on in February, running into March as well. While design phase starts sometime in March and elapses in April. So what the Gantt chart does for you is using a bar, okay, or a box format, depending on which you want to implement, because there are different types of Gantt charts available today. So it means that anyone who sees it would understand that you have actually scheduled different tasks at different times, giving them different timelines. The only thing that is not included here is who is doing what, responsibilities. So you have people who are scheduled to handle different responsibilities as the case may be. So I hope you have think missing some questions. Okay, I think I can see the next question. What are the distinctive qualities of a project manager and what differentiates? Okay, so I'll actually stop sharing right now. Okay, so when there is need to share again, I will do that. Okay, all right, so back to I'm back here, so I'm sure you can hear me right now. Apologies, I think it was a network issue. All right, so we were actually looking at the what differentiates a project manager from a scrum master. Actually, these two persons play leadership roles in managing their teams, okay? But they don't have, they operate with different mindsets, different ideologies. The responsibilities are different and the scopes are also different, okay? Depending on whether they want to use the traditional approach like agile or they want to use the waterfall methodology. But in a project manager, you can actually see very clearly he's focused. I'm sure we did talk about characteristics of a project manager, okay? And a project manager always tries his best to see that he carries everyone along, okay? Very directive, assigns tasks, sets guidelines, manages teams, oversees the entire project life cycle. The project manager is in charge of the handling both the scope, the timeline, the budget, the quality, the risks, the stakeholders, making sure that everybody is together. And the major aim of the project manager is to actually deliver and stay on track. Okay. Um, it can also decide to apply any of the methodologies that we have discussed, maybe waterfall, and all that. And also, a project manager does clearly reporting. So, project manager is time conscious, handles risks very well, communicates, negotiates, and also carries out budgeting. But in a scrum master simply follows the scrum principle. Remember, we talked about agile about 2 weeks ago. So goes by the scrum principle. Okay, he tries as much as to follow the sprint principle. Okay, it's not directive. He coaches the team to make decisions. So because the team will be working more, with themselves, they go back, they bond, they discuss, and they return, carry out the task, and they come back to management and say, "This is what we've done. Should we go ahead?" and things like that. So they use more of Scrum, simply Scrum. You can't apply any other methodology. Just that agile framework of Scrum, and then always reports to the product owner. Remember, we talked about product owner. It's more like the project sponsor. Okay, so at every phase is just like that. So the project manager is more of being directive, but the scrum master more like a servant leader. Okay, so the scrum master works more like a team person. Okay, using the scrum process, but the project manager actually goes through scope, time, cost, try to deliver the project through that methodology. And um yeah, I think for the scope and the timeline, the scrum master is not actually accountable for it. It's more like the product owner has more. But for the project manager owns and manages his timeline based on what was already specified. So we will work that way and see that it maintains that particular focus. Okay, so and then let's see. There are other questions here. I hope a whole lot. So let me see. Wow, that's why I said the whole lot of questions coming in, but let's take it gradually so that I don't miss any of them. Okay. Let me see. I know why the network was quite out. Okay, I think I can see where I am now. With Lawoye's question. So Lara says she has difficulty on the project tools. You may have to go back to revise, watch the videos where we had hands-on session and explanations as to how you can actually work with these tools. Lasha says that her experience has been superb, but how do we go about identifying our niche and what should be our yardstick when selecting one? You need to know who you are, what you are good at. Okay, your experiences so far. Experience is not built in a day. You start gradually, you learn, you move one step at a time and try to improve. Okay, like those I'm sure people who are into event management, it all started from one day. Maybe it started from the church or the mosque, irrespective. So what kind of programs can you handle? Party for 3, party for 5, party for 10, party for 15. That's how you start until you get to party for 250, party for 500. So you keep learning and improving as you move up the ladder. The same thing, the same way it is for those who are also into logistics. Some are into food delivery. You prepare meals for people, not really into event management, but you try to see how you can deliver right on time. Okay. Sometimes maybe you started with 5 people and things like that. And then there are those who are into procurement in public organizations, government and non-governmental organizations, where you submit proposals. And so, in trying to identify your niche, it must be something that you are knowledgeable about. If you're not knowledgeable about it, then you try to make more research about that particular niche you are trying to go into, because there are people who are already in that space. And for you to fit in and be among the top in that particular field, then it means there's something you must be doing differently that they are doing, but you are trying to, you are improving upon what they are doing for you to become better than what they are doing. So, to what should be your yardstick? You should have a standard. Like when we discussed about building high performance teams, we said that a high performing team must um, see themselves like effective and efficient people. You must be a goal getter. You must not be somebody who easily gives up. You must show that ability to take risks and be able to manage risk effectively. So risk is not going to show up on your head written, but you must have it at the back of your mind that the project constraints triangle is definitely going to deal or tell a toll on you and what you want to do. So at all times, you must say that. So Edache, you can remind me what's OPM3 so that I can be able to go back to that. Then work breakdown structure. Breakdown structure simply means how I want to do or carry out my project, breaking it down gradually such that it will be very easy. Okay, I want to build a house. I will break it into different steps. Okay, I must first of all do proper feasibility studies on the land, soil tests. Okay, so I'm going to be listing them down: soil tests, compaction tests, meeting with stakeholders or the project sponsor, submit my proposal. Once I'm done with all those stage, so I can just say initial. Okay, initial phase, or break them down into phases. Initial, number one, um, meeting with project sponsor and other relevant stakeholders, submission of project proposal. Then you begin to list out what you want to do. When you're done with that stage, the next is it the stage of you want to start building the foundation? What and what do you need to build foundation? So by the time you are doing these things, what you are doing now is you are breaking the work down into smaller portions so that it will be very easy for you to do what? To carry out that task and delegate as well. So part of the reasons why we do WBS is to also make it easier and also be able to delegate to your subordinates or team members. So it's possible. Is it possible to show us a live video on how to log in to access LMS? Uh, that's not that's beyond the scope of this particular um, class right now. I'm sure that the community manager, you can reach out to the community manager, or the community manager will take note of what you've said and reach out to you. So for the project question, yes, you will definitely receive them, but let me reiterate here that what you are expected to do, okay, the expectation is that um, you would prepare a project like this is my project. You are going to plan and execute a school career day, a school event titled Career Day. So you are going to host a career day as a project manager. So you are going to manage that particular career day hosting. So you're going to prepare your project charter, prepare a work breakdown structure, a timeline. You may use Gantt chart, or any other um, project visualization tool that come readily to mind. You're also going to raise a budget, a risk register, lessons learned, and then your final report. That's all that we expect to see. So if these key elements are not there, I'm sorry, um, your grading may not go as expected. Okay. And when you are submitting, try to submit via the LMS, the same method that you used to submit your project tool assignment. Okay. So it's not an assignment, it's your your capstone project to conclude this particular um, phase of the Digital Skill Up Africa project management class. Okay. So it can be primary, it can be nursery, it can be secondary, it can be even whatever. But what we want is let it be a career day. So, all right. So, how can security personnel engage in project management role? Okay. So, first of all, you see yourself as as a security personnel, but in terms of project management, you're not like a security personnel. So, a security personnel could actually mean maybe you are an IT security person, you are a cyber security analyst, maybe so it's you can actually transition into say security related projects. Okay, like you can go into security audits or assessments. Okay, you can embark on access control systems. You can also decide to delve into incident response plan. So there are companies that may not have um, incident response plan. You can decide to develop some. Okay, and talk to organizations about it. Okay, and also we have compliance. Okay, you know the GDPR. Okay, all right. We have also the ISO. There are some of the ISO certifications like 27001, and a whole lot of there are many. So you can also decide to do what we call facilitation, okay, in aspects of security management. So these are different. There are a lot of things. We have also, you may want to manage and maintain CCTV cameras for different organizations. So what are you doing already? What you're doing right there now is you're already in a project management role. Okay, so I think I've been able to give you a good idea. Okay. Thank you, Dollars. Thank you so much. Um, yes, tonight is more of revision, and we're taking general questions across all we have done the past 8 weeks. Okay, so the Sasnel says there's project manager, program manager, event manager, operations manager. Are they all the same? No, they're not. No. Like I said earlier, when I explained, I said um, an operations manager is just an aspect or a part in project management. Like you are into manufacturing, you may have an operations manager, but he's not the project manager. Okay, so let's get to understand that. So you can have in a project, you can have different programs. In a project, you can have different events. Okay, so it's never safe, it's never ideal, one person doing all these tasks. They are not the same. Every role is unique, every role has its scope, every role has the impact that it plays within that particular organization, though they may in terms of skills be similar, like planning, coordination, um, leadership, but they are exactly different. Okay, so the project manager would actually focus on the goal of the project. That is his goal. to deliver the outcome of that particular project right on time, within the specified budget, and within scope. So it will not go beyond it. But a program manager can supervise, can oversee related projects. Okay. So, like in Julius Berger, you may have different construction projects handled by one overall project manager, but the program managers are different. Okay. So, and then an event manager as well. So he's actually planning and executing events. Doesn't mean that he's handling entirely, except that particular project is just an event. Then he will be the event planner or the event manager, and that's it. So the operations manager oversees the day-to-day business activities to see how they can run efficiently and smoothly, okay, at the end of the day. So overall, there are different people doing different things. They are all planning, they are all communicating, they are all exhibiting leadership skills, but the scope of what they do, how long they are going to do it, and the goals are different. So that is where I would leave that for now. So how can we use Trello and Slack as a tool in a project? It has to be an hands-on. So you have to revisit the videos and see which, I think we had Trello. We did Trello hands-on. So you can revisit one of the videos, Blessing, and see that. Then Slack is more like a communication tool. Okay. So where people communicate. So it's more like communicating. Okay. So Esther, we're not talking about, it's not an assignment. Career Day is not an assignment. It's your project, your capstone project, to signify that you are ending this project, this program with us, Digital Skill Up Africa. So you have to show mastery of what you have learned in the past 8 weeks by implementing or hosting a career day. So you have to prepare some documentation, which I have listed out earlier. So until we receive this from you, it may be that you may not graduate as expected. So it will show us that you have been part of this session all weeks, the past few weeks. And I think Ayokunle, I've been able to answer that question, how security personnel can engage in project manager role. Okay. How can we upload projects on LMS? Community manager will attend to that. Okay. Then how can I use Prince 2 in the health sector as a project tool? We may not be able to discuss all the tools. Like I said, we only were able to handle Trello, Asana, I think a few of that, Jira, but there are others you may need to handle yourself. So Prince 2 is more like projects in controlled environments. Okay. So actually it's just to, you have a business case. Okay. So business case here means, excuse me, business case here means that you must be able to justify why you are doing a particular project. Like you want to use rollout EMR, okay? Yeah, EMR, yes, electronic medical record system, to show that yes, it can improve patient care, it can give faster access to data when patients visit the hospital, and then it also complies with regulation. So then you are also going to assign roles to different people. Okay. So, and then you must follow the guidelines. I'm sure there are about 7 principles that you apply in Prince 2, which we may not be able to exhaust in this class, but I would really employ, if you can also check up online how to use Prince 2. It's really going to make it easy Okay. So, but in using Prince 2, you would have your project brief. You would talk about the descriptions for for your product. Okay. What are the plans that you have? Okay, like where I said you want to roll out EMR. Are there any risks involved? Maybe clinical risks, operational risks, reputational risks. Are there any issue logs that you may need to take care of? Okay, and then you have to document also a lessons for insight. Okay, to that particular project. Okay. So Sarah says or asks that as a beginner who just acquired a skill on project management without any experience, how can one apply for a job or get experience? There are internships that you may wish to explore online. They are different, both remote, on-site, and hybrid. Then you can also volunteer to work with organizations that need volunteers. So doing, you can also learn. Okay. I started out as a volunteer many years ago, did some internship. While I was working, I also was learning. Okay. You have to put your eyes down on the ground to also learn from people who are in those roles. Okay. And then there are also life scenarios. So because you need to learn, experience comes both from what you see, what you hear, and the people you engage with, the kind of projects that you are involved with. So that's a gradual thing that you're going to be doing. So it's not going to stop because you don't have the experience doesn't mean you shouldn't apply. There are people who need beginners who are ready to learn. Okay. All right. So it shouldn't stop you. Okay. Um, so we would be very shortly. We'll be going on a short break to take our attendance, and when we return, we will continue with the session. We'll take more questions. And Lash and Fire says that experience has been superb. As a project manager, how do you go in about? I think we've taken that. We've treated that before now. Thanks for the explanation on Gantt chart. Thank you. Can we say a Scrum Master is the same as a monitoring and evaluation officer? I think still a whole lot of questions coming up, and well, I think so. Like I said, don't post so many questions so that we can be able to. Because I think I have to scroll back to see. So let me just answer this one question and then we go on a very quick break. So a Scrum Master is not actually an M&E officer, okay? So let's don't mix it up, okay? So Scrum Master works with his team to deliver a product, but M&E tracks, evaluates, and reports on the performance and impact of the project, okay? So they're not the same. M&E, your role is just to monitor, to track, to evaluate, okay? And that's it. So most of the time, he may not even be at the beginning of the project. They may just call him in between. But the Scrum Master would always be there, okay? All right, from the beginning. So when we return, we would go, let's go on a short break, okay? So Um, so far, my name is Kingsley Adiole, and with me tonight is Nancy Baba Ali. You're going to see her very shortly. Let's go on a quick break, take your attendance, and when we return, we will continue on Digital Skill of Africa project management session. See you right after the break. Thank you. Hello, hello.
Oh my goodness. Can you hear? Hi guys, hello everyone. It's nice to be here. It's nice to see you all. It's been a minute, but yeah, we finally here. So I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Kingsley for uh, being here, for taking the first cohort, for taking the first half of the class, the first session of the class. And yeah, it is lovely to see you all. It's lovely to have you all here, from Stella to Stephen to Sylvia, Fisayo. Yeah. Yeah. So, we've been able to of to complete our curriculums from week 1 all to week 8. I want to say big congratulations to everybody, and thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Tai. Thank you, Omoge. So, in our previous meeting, we were able to talk about um, ethics and um, professional responsibilities of a project manager. We've been able to talk about leadership styles and so many other things. I'm sure a lot of persons were able to go through the videos in their spare time, like the likes of Jonathan that mentioned in the previous class that he was having timing issues but was able to go through all of his class in his spare time. We spoke at length about um, how to be able to work with a work breakdown structure. We spoke about risk management, resource planning, and so many things at length, right? We're able to, um, thank you, Bamei, thank you, everyone. Hi, Sarah. Miss Nancy, once more. Still Miss Nancy. Uh, so thank you to Tuola. So yeah, uh, I hope that the class was quite engaging. Should be provided. Okay, Uma said PDFs should be provided. I'm sure the slides are being provided in the groups because we submit them. So everybody should be able to have access to that. Uh, Hi, Dada. It's nice to see you in class. Thank you, Ahai. Okay, so does anybody have any question that they would like to know? Hi, Tina. It's nice to have you in class. Uh, is there a PDF? Lynn is asking a question. Hello, Joel. Nice to see you in class. It's been a minute. Is there a way we can get a PDF that covers all the topics? Sure. There isn't a PDF that covers all the courses, but we have PDF slides that um covers pretty much all the topics that we've been sharing. Um, can we still do the project tools assignment? Of course, Esther, you are to do that. You are to do that. Um, any other persons with any other questions? I'm sure Mr. Kingsley was able to do a recap, right, on pretty much everything. And okay. Hello, Tina. Welcome. I'm sorry. I'm going back through our old chats. I'm going through the old chats. Can we use agile methodology while using Scrum for work breakdown structure from Comfort Greece? Yeah, you can. You can. Comfort. You can use agile methodology as far as it resonates with the project and it will give you good results. You should feel free to use the methodology. Okay. Thank you, Oiza, for replying Lynn's question. We are yet to have access to slides. Ella asked a question saying, please, can the project tools assignments be repeated for those that haven't done that? I'm sure the technical team would have a perfect answer to this. Uh, yeah. Uh, you get a response, Ella, because I don't really know what to say on that. You're doing great. Okay, Stella is asking a question. Oh, ask the question. Please, ma'am, why do we need hybrid methodology as a project manager? Okay, so why you need hybrid? It's more of the combinations, right, of two methodologies, right? And the fact that as a project manager, you're meant to have diverse approaches. You're not meant to just have one option or what do you call it? One solution to solving a problem. You should have at least a vast choice that you can pick from. Hybrid is a form of having that flexibility and efficiency so that your outcomes uh, will be sufficient depending on the project. I hope I answered that. Okay, Joel asked a question that what about the class we were unable to take last week Thursday due to bad condition? So pretty much in the last class, it was also supposed to be like a recap based on the last topic, which was on ethics, which was on ethics. And we pretty much covered everything. We covered everything. So it was just meant to be a recap and then 2 to 3 pointers that I feel at this point I had elaborated on them in the previous class. So we were pretty much done from last week, Tuesday. Joel. Okay, Fumbi. Uh, we will attend to that. We'll look into doing that. Okay. Comfort asked the question. Preparing the project for Career Day, you are instructing us to fully break down the project using AI, our lessons from, I'll be using all our lessons from concepts to leadership, right? Yes, you can infuse all that we have taught you, and even from the point of concepts that I spoke to you in, concepts of leadership that I spoke to you in the last class, every single thing that you were able to learn from week one all the way to week eight. I would really appreciate it if I can see a reflection of everything that I have taught you or guided you through, and what Mr. Kingsley has also impacted in you. So we would really love to see everything in your project. Stephen, nice to have you, Stephen. Are there instances when an operation manager acts as or played the role of a PM? They're pretty much rare cases whereby you would see an operation manager acting as the role of a PM. An operations manager pretty much is meant to handle the operations of a company, and while a project manager is meant to make sure that the project reaches an optimum goal, right? So with these two things, even though they may seem to um they may seem to look like they have the same what do you call it, characteristics and features, but they still have their unique differences that makes one stand out from the other. uh Thank you, Joy. You have a beautiful name, Joy Allah. Thank you for the compliment. In what ways can a lawyer engage PM? Please reply. In what ways can a lawyer engage a project manager? You can get. I don't understand. Is it that you, as a lawyer, you want to onboard a project manager, or as a project manager, you're managing the lawyer's projects? Let me understand the question. I did too. Um. Okay. Sorry. The network went down a bit. I tried using as well, but I don't see. Do to and done. I can be okay. Okay. So Adele Tune, you said, how can a lawyer apply project management in the law profession? Okay. So due to my own understanding and based on the discretion, right? As a project manager in a law firm, or you are a lawyer and you want to go into project management, I'm not really familiar with um with the judiciary law sector, whichever. But how I know that it comes hand in hand is that we usually just usually make sure that the contracting and that we have with clients, with team members, employees, and the likes of them, with stakeholders, are being upheld and uphold upholded to by each of these so-called persons involved in the contract. And also how I feel, how can you do this in a law firm? So let's say, for example, let me just at the top of my head, even though I've never been in a law firm, as and you want to go into project management, or you're a project manager in a law firm, you can always make sure to uh, take up court cases for the company, sorry, for the for the firm that you're working with. Um, you can make sure to help them when it comes to arrangements of you could do work breakdowns for um your fellow lawyers or colleagues or barristers for each law case that you may have. uh Make sure to enlighten them or prepare them for each of the court hearing that they may have or will have with clients. Make sure to keep track of everybody's clients. Make sure to be updating to make sure to get reports from everybody and make sure to be updating it. Make sure to assign everybody, including administrative and the lawyers, in a calendar. Uh, Make sure to um, be more descriptive when it comes to knowing everybody's niche and knowing who to assign these roles to. The likes of them, you just discreetly know how to apply everything we've spoken about in your firm. Oh God, to go to school and carry out the career day physically or just drafting. Hamilton, you don't need to go to any school to carry out any physical um career day. The drafting will be fine. It will be just fine. Of course. Fumbi, you will get that. It's in the LMS group. Okay, so you still want to let us go into that? Thank you, Adio too. I hope I was a bit helpful. Um, so yeah, let's just do something real quick. So in the last class, we were able to talk more about ethics and what is expected of you as a project manager in the sense of bribery, corruption, when it comes to favors, how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to be as a leader, how you're supposed to have integrity, and the likes of them. So, as a project manager, you have a professional responsibility that you are supposed to uphold, which is integrity and professionalism. You're supposed to contribute your knowledge not just to uh, your portfolio, your certificate, but to the organization or whatever firm that you may find yourself in, or whatever sector you may find yourself in. Like how Mrs. Adirtun asked the question of how can she apply law, um, project management into law as a lawyer, and I explained that she just follows in the whole work breakdown, planning, pre-planning, post-planning, professionalism and project management professionalism tools, flexibility, methodologies, and um, the abbreviations we have, and also SWOT, very important. You're supposed to also know about how to work in a professional setting based on code of conduct and having good enough ethics, legal and cultural sensitivity, and know how to manage conflicts in such spaces. Uh, there is also the need to know how to use ethical standards to govern your behavior and your judgments in a project or as a project manager. You have to know how to comply with the rules and regulations of the project or company or firm that you're working with, even though there are times that you would want to do things that maybe you feel are best suited for you, but those rules and regulations were created there for a reason, and you just have to know how to work around it and be professional and trim it in a way that will benefit yourself and your team members. Have a very good understanding as a project manager. Learn how to communicate to team members, know how to communicate to stakeholders, know how to communicate as a person or as a leader or a project manager. Uh, Respect and recognize intellectual property, and also learn how to be confidential when it comes to projects, because most of the times, um, yes, there's a thrill of being a project manager. Yes, I'm a project manager, but you have to be very confidential when it comes to your company's info, your company's data. Data is data is power, and giving the wrong people the set of power that you have or may have access to is something that could tarnish your reputation as a project manager. Understand the strengths, weaknesses, and learning styles that you'll be able to adapt with as a project manager along the way, or you should be able to adapt to as a project manager along the way. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Ella, sorry, I skipped your question. Uh, can you re-ask the question? Please, ma, how do we apply for internship for project managers as a beginner without experience? Okay. So you can just check online. There are always some very interesting um offers that Some organizations, firms, or brands tend to put out need for volunteers. Don't always shy away from being a volunteer. Uh, Being a volunteer can also help open plenty doors, many doors that you yourself never knew you would ever have access to. So you can always start small, and then there are some persons that, regardless, can still start big. They can go all big with a little uh with a little skill that they've been able to achieve or acquire and go higher or get into higher positions. It's all how you place yourself. It's all how you your mindset is to tackling problems. Always always have the sense that you as a person or as a project manager, you're confident, you are hardworking, you are resilient to chaos, you are calm headed, you know how to respond under pressure, you are a good decision maker. Just be very confident in your skill and always do your best. That will be my biggest advice to you. Also, make sure to be as empathetic as possible. Empathy will take you far as well. Be flexible towards diversity, tolerance, and self control, like I mentioned. Your manners as a leader, also quantify how you would be perceived and how people trust you with how people trust you with projects. Okay, you asked for Pareto chart and what was it? And network diagrams. Okay, so for a Pareto chart, it's just pretty much more of a compound column and line chart. It has the median line control charts, or uh just pretty much how do I explain it in a simple layman form. Uh it's just your graphical presentation of columns and lines, like charts, but more more of bars. It's more of bars, columns, and lines, right? But then for your network diagrams, your network diagram pretty much shows more of the relations that you have from from your point of view as a project manager. From it can be from um, a form of hierarchy to the from higher hierarchy to lower hierarchy. It just shows the dependencies and also sequence. Like, I don't know if you can remember the network diagram that I shared in one of the classes on how um you can have your breakdown of how you can have a breakdown um of your communications when it comes to you calculating your whole project's timeline, how we have nodes and how we have breaks. It was very sequential, so it's a flow of sequence, it's a flow of dependencies. It's more dependent on one and another, or two or less. It's it just has a way of just showing more communication, more elaboration on uh who to rely on, what to rely on, how to achieve this and how not to achieve that. And while for the Pareto, it just pretty much shows uh, a diagram that is not as fully um, explanatory as the network diagram. It just direct columns, direct lines, and the likes of them. Okay, so I would urge you, Taiwo, um to take out time to first get your certificate, so that the certificate will be like more of a booster for you to be able to fully and confidently speak when you are um you know selling yourself as a project manager. Shagun, you asked the question saying, um, thank you, Ella, for helping explain Ella's question. Okay, I think Ella, that was you. Sorry, yeah. Okay, I'm a bit lost. Um, okay, someone asked the question. I know I saw it about PM and PMP. So PM is project management in a nutshell, or project manager, while PMP is project management professional, a professional project management, or sorry, professional project manager. It's also a form of certificate that people gain at a very high and professional level, uh, worldwide recognized. So yeah, so it has been pretty much amazing and lovely to have you all for the past 9 weeks. It has been fun, it has been interesting, it has been amazing knowing you all. I've had uh, no doubts meeting you all as amazing people. I have met beautiful people that have shown me empathy in this class, and I'm sure Mr. Kingsley would also add on amazing persons that he has met in this platform, in this class, that have shown good participation, good dedication, and empathy too as well, in one way or another, in checking in doing the assignments or the tasks, in taking it out of your comfort zone to research and um, grow yourself more in the knowledge that we wish to instill in you and guide you through. So it has been amazing. Myself and my amazing team, from Iselua to Faith, who has been ever so kind, ever so hardworking, and Mrs. Oiza, that has been very helpful, has constantly made sure to attend to you all in the comment section. Her unwavering dedication, her hard work. Um, it's not just recognizable to us, but I'm sure you have all seen everybody's input one way or another. And we're really blessed to have you all in this class. I'm blessed to know you all. And I really hope we get to connect. And don't, we're still going to have a mentoring session after this, after the exams, after, sorry, the evaluation, sorry, of your hard work and the hackathon. There's still going to be a mentoring phase. And yeah, we look forward to still connecting with you all and still helping out in the little way we can. Akanu said, is it possible for one to apply for an... Yeah, you can do that, Akanu. You can do that. You can go ahead and do that. So yeah, we have come to an end of, you know, this session, and God bless you all. And Mr. Kingsley is saying, is giving his best of luck and best of wishes at the back end. And yeah, we're grateful to have you all once more. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye.